Hail Kingdom! This warrior leveling build is exactly what League start should feel like. Look at this boss. Boom! He is gone. Insane damage, very easy to gear up, and more than enough to completely crush campaign and get rolling in endgame. But every broken run starts in Act 1, Clearfell. First weapon you will find will be wooden club, but you can instantly respawn a checkpoint before you equip the first wooden club, and the second will arrive. Now we can dual wield them. It's not mandatory, because soon you will find shield that is also very powerful against first boss, and also our first skill, Rolling Slam. Strategy here is super simple, we try to avoid boss attacks and hit him to build up the stun meter. Because when boss stunned, this Rolling Slam will deal a lot more damage. Also you can use Rolling Slam to destroy these big packs of zombies. And funnily enough, Rolling Slam will be our main skill for first act at least. After getting to Clearfell, you will find Renly and he will give you first uncut skill gem. Also I'm using this shopping cliffs that you can just paste into search bar and it will highlight everything useful for you in shop. You can copy it from the pinned comment, by the way. But overall we're looking for items with fire resistance, with bonus to maximum life, and shields with armor, because eventually we will switch into shield wall warrior. But in Act 1 also look for anything that will add flat damage to your attacks. For passive tree we're just getting more and more damage, and you can check full passive tree in my mobalytics guide. Now let's go to the first zone and to the most important location in it. There will be abandoned camp, and that's where you will find one more skill gem level 1. Also in this location don't forget to fight this mini boss, because she will drop guaranteed resistance to cold damage. If you want easier time against bosses, one of the options is to craft Frost Bomb from one of your skill gems that we already got. It works very good, especially if you get any extra elemental damage, but it's better to be careful with your skill and support gems when you're leveling, because they are pretty limited and we need to get correct choices. Especially when we go to Grelwood, second zone. There will be a lot higher monster density and we will create Bone Shatter. Another option that will help you for a few zones is Contagion. Contagion is great debuff that you can apply to enemies, destroy them, and it will spread this debuff among nearby enemies. But most importantly, you need to understand how to use Bone Shatter. When enemies is highlighted like this, after you use Bone Shatter, they will instantly disappear. That's because when you use Bone Shatter, if enemy is primed for stun, basically when he's almost stunned, he will release Shockwave and deal damage to nearby enemies. First attack of Rolling Slam will prime enemies for stun, and then we can instantly follow up with Bone Shatter. With these tricks you will easily clear this zone, but don't forget to find a hut, because in the hut you will find Cauldron with upgrades for your flasks and also a rare monster. After defeating this witch, you will get uncut support gem. But while I'm fighting, let me tell you about one important trick, animation cancelling. You can use first attack and then instantly roll, or for example use Bone Shatter after you're doing this first attack of Rolling Slam. Make sure you understand how to do it, how it works and how it feels, because it will save you loads of time. The first attacks, especially if you're slowed, is tremendously long. And when you're surrounded, there's just no time to actually land a second hit. That's why these tricks are super important to know and understand how to use them, especially in Act 1. Now it's time to craft our first support gem. Yes, you can have more damage, but I prefer to have rapid attacks. If there is no rapid attacks options, don't forget you need to press Show All Gems. With this combination we can safely go to the Red Whale. Again, I really recommend Contagion in this zone, because it will help you get a lot more experience, but in reality you can skip almost every monster beside monsters with blue nickname. That gives a lot of experience compared to how easy it is to defeat them. But most importantly, there is upgrade for our weapon, and it will basically double our damage. To find it, just look for Refined Arms, and we're looking for two-handed hammer. In this particular run I was a little bit lazy and finished boss by dual wielding maces from tutorial area. Boss drops next tier of uncut skill gem, it's level 3, and now we can unlock Infernal Cry. Also I was lucky and got support gem. This support gem I will convert into concentrated area for even more area damage. If you're not lucky, don't worry, because you will get next guaranteed support gem from this guy in Grim Tangle. the Rotten Druid will always drop 1 for you. And as you can see, I just bought 2-handed mace from Renly. And after getting next guaranteed support gem from Rotten Druid in Grim Tangle, I went straight to Cemetery. In a senior tomb there is another rare monster who also guaranteed to drop 1 support gem. Right now my level is not high enough to even use level 3 skill gem, and basically I'm using my old combination by using Frost Bomb, stunning boss and then just rolling slam on top of him. It's super easy, straightforward and deals a lot of damage. But if you level up high enough, you will be able to use this Warcry before attacking bosses, and you will deal even more extra damage on top, because your attack will be enchanted with extra fire damage. For support gems, we using rapid attacks in concentrated area on rolling slam and tireless with raging cry on Infernal Cry. Its super basic setup will give us more DPS, and also Infernal Cry will give ability to enchant more than 1 attack, while at the same time it will generate rage on top for even more damage. While Bone Shatter using magnified area and fire attunement, it helps our clear a lot. And if you're still using contagion to clear enemies, you will forget about it in the next area, because after you visit these hunting grounds and then find entrance to Freytorn, you will defeat bunch of rituals and then fight big boss. That's where you will get your first spirit, and this spirit will be used to craft Herald of Ash. When Herald of Ash activated, from now on you will blow up enemies after doing a little bit more damage than needed to them, and they will blow up nearby enemies, or basically they will ignite them. Also from this zone, and after reaching level 11, we may find better two-handed mace. And after defeating Executioner, we're basically finishing our build, because after this fight you will save Lady. Talk with her back in town and she will give you uncut skill gem level 5. That's our ultimate skill. We will craft a perfect strike. It's pretty weird and you need to learn how to use the skill, but the skill will dominate all enemies as long as you hit timings right. At this point you may notice that I'm using 2 weapon sets to allocate my passive points. I really recommend you checking quick video on these weapon sets if you don't know how they work. But doing this build right will basically triple your damage compared to passive skill tree without 2 weapon sets. If you understand how they work, basically 1 weapon set will go for all attack abilities and 2nd weapon set will be used only for war cries. Now when fighting bosses we can stun them preemptively or just try to use Perfect Strike instantly to deal massive damage. So when we unleash Perfect Strike at the perfect moment, we will deal a lot of damage, and you can see how easy we can dismantle boss of act number 1. Just War Cry and then using Perfect Strike. First one was a miss and then boom! He got hit, he is fried, ignited basically, and he is almost finished with just 2 or 3 perfect strikes. I haven't touched on support gems for Herald of Ash, but basically it's magnified area and prolonged duration. But there is a reason why I haven't touched them. Did you saw this fight? Well, you need some skills to actually perform well with Perfect Strike. So what if I tell you you can use basic rolling slam to deal almost the same or even higher damage? Yeah, it's possible as you can see, and to do it you need one little funny tech. In 2nd weapon slot I will equip Talisman, it's druid weapon, and I will craft a Wing Blast, which is skill of level 3. Now I will prime boss for stun, and when he's primed for stun, I'm using Wing Blast to stun him and get power charges. Let's quickly rewind. Because after getting power charges, I'm using a basic Wyvern attack. It gives me extra damage as lightning damage, and that's why my attacks right now is just insanely overpowered. Yes. Wing Blast gives you power charges, and it gives you 3 power charges if you use it and stun boss, and Rent, which is basic attack, gives you 50% of damage as lightning, and this actually calculates into almost double damage, which gives us ability to completely melt everyone in Act 2. Now, what you need to know about Act 2. Around level 16 you need to start look to upgrade your weapon. And now you actually got a choice. Do you want to stick with this playstyle we're using right now, or do you want to change it a little bit? So, if you want to stick exactly with this playstyle, first of all I recommend to craft Bring. It's support gem of high tier, and this support gem will make you unable to actually stun enemies. you want to drop the support gem on your main attack. It's a rolling slam right now, but in Act 2 you may change it into leap slam. Leap slam is jumping attack, it will stun loads of enemies, it will give you ability to travel faster, and basically you jump and then use bone shatter to destroy all enemies around you. Yeah, that's how it will work. If you got a question why you don't want to stun enemies with your main skill, well, because if they already stunned, bone shatter won't work. Also, it will help you prime bosses for stun with rolling slam, again if you're using it as your main skill. But overall, this playstyle and this skill combination will give you ability to go straight to the end game. And it's pretty flexible, you can add any skills you like if there's anything interesting to you. But instead I will switch into most broken build right now. It's Shield Warrior. So we need shield of level 16 and if possible gloves with level of all melee skills. Same goes for your one-handed mace. You're looking for high bonus to armor and you can even use currency to upgrade it. We're looking for at least plus 50 armor, and this is maximum bonus you can find at these levels. In the next area there's a high chance to get armor scrap, which will give you ability to enhance your shield with more armor, and you can get as much as plus 20 bonus to your total armor, which will give you insane amount of damage. Yeah, our damage will scale from armor from shield. Keep this in mind. But right now I don't have suitable shield and also I'm pretty low level to wear level 16 shield right now, so I am dealing with enemies and bosses with my trusty mace. Also in this run I decided not to abuse this tag with extra lightning damage from Druid Talisman, and as you can see, it's pretty slow to deal with bosses right now. Also, we won't be able to use shield until level 22, so if there's no shield with at least plus 60 to your armor, you can wait a little bit and at level 25 you may find even plus 80. On this run I even dropped very powerful mace and it helped me to defeat bosses pretty easily, but after defeating this boss we're getting back to town and getting our skill gem level 7 from Zarka. And now instead of tryharding we can finally switch to the shield wall. So, how shield wall will work? It looks completely amazing. I just place shield wall, war cry, destroy it, and bosses are basically deleted. Yeah, 2 bosses at the same time. As you can see, it's pretty long description, but in reality it's super easy. All you need to know that you want to place this wall and then destroy it yourself. You can destroy it by using war cries. Also you can use shield charge. For support gems it's super easy, we use rapid attacks and concentrated area to place it faster and deal more damage. Also you can destroy wall with bounce skill, and we already got talisman, so why not? At the same time we can use freezing mark with mark for dash and mark of siphoning, but most importantly mark for dash. You can even drop freezing mark inside of bounce to apply it to bosses, but don't forget to use mark for dash at the same time. Idea is pretty simple. Mark for dash will force enemies to break their armor when we're dealing physical damage, while mark is applied. And since we're dealing only physical damage, or like mostly physical damage with our shield wall, well, we're starting to deal more and more damage on top. Instead of using basic war cry, you can drop war cry inside ferocious roar to get even more damage, but it doesn't matter too much. What does matter is our ascendancy, and I will go with Smith of Kitava. You can actually change your ascendancy later, but I really recommend Smith of Kitava for League starter, especially for this node. Basically, you just spending your 2 points and now your modifiers to fire resistance will be applied to cold and lightning. This gives insane survivability and also makes you ready for even mapping, because resistances are super important when you're going deeper and deeper to the late game. But even in campaign they help a lot. Can you become Titan? Yes. Can you become Warbringer? Yes. You will even deal more damage against enemies with broken armor. But will you deal damage when you already did, because you got no resistances? No. That's why again, for beginners, I really recommend sticking with Smith of Kitava and having a lot more fun. By using my passive tree, you will get not only a lot of power to your shield wall damage, but also a lot of power and cooldown reduction to war cries. And yeah, you may say that, well, where is the power? Why we dealing with Gemanra so long? Oh, basically because I'm still using level 16 shield and I haven't found better yet. You can farm a little bit more, you can clear areas before Jamanra a little bit more, and you will get better equipment before moving to Act 3. But most importantly, I haven't utilized my freezing bark, because I haven't got this skill gem yet on this exact run because I was speedrunning. But it doesn't matter because these two guys at the beginning of Act 3 will give you access to Leather Javeler Orb. It's guaranteed drop. And now we can add extra socket to our shield wall and get fire attunement. It will give us even more damage and give ability to ignite enemies, while with my passive tree we will deal extra damage to ignited enemies. Now that's how we approach bosses, casting freezing mark first, by doing it manually or by using pounce. Then we place shield wall and war cry, place shield wall and pounce, place shield wall and war cry, and so on. It destroys enemy armor and enemy will start to take extra physical damage. Gameplay is simple, protection is insane, and after defeating this boss you think on the screen right now, you will get more spirit. The spirit will be used to craft magma barrier, and this gives us passive block chance, basic defenses, so we will be even more durable and our survivability will rise. Still, sometime our skills will be on cooldown, and that's why we got another skill towards end of the act. This skill will be Fortifying Cry with Raging Cry and Mana Leech support gems. This also adds extra damage on top, and basically our rotation is pretty simple. Mark wall, bounce, wall, cry, wall, and so on. Basically, yeah, we're doing this, destroying enemy armor, we're applying shock if we got some extra lightning damage on top, or if we're using this wing blast and rend technique if we want more buttons. And technically that's it. Upgrade your shield every now and then and you will be fine. And that's the beauty of the build. It's super simple, it's super effective, and it just melts bosses. Look at this bro, it was insanely funny fight, and yeah, he is just destroyed. So you can just chill and upgrade your equipment when you can and you will be fine. Let's talk about our final build when we actually beat whole game and go into end game. Infernal Cry gives us nice boost of damage. That's why when we find extra Javeler Orb, I like to get cooldown recovery inside of it. It not only will give us a lot more damage, but also will cool down a lot faster, so we can use it more often to destroy our shield walls and also get this extra damage. Freezing Mark again used mostly to destroy enemy armor, so using Mark for dash and Mark of Siphoning helps us to destroy enemy armor and also at the same time replenish our mana, so we will never have any problems with mana cost of our skills. Herald of Ash will stay exactly as it stays in the first act. Just don't forget to upgrade it to clear enemies faster when you're running around the maps, but overall it doesn't matter too much. Shield Charge is the skill that you want to use every now and then if you're not using pounce, because I got bored of this talisman in my offhand. I'm just using Shield Charge to destroy my wall and it works really nicely. I'm using rapid attacks and close combat because it also deals some damage. At the same time, if you got extra jewels to get more sockets in your skills, Fortifying Cry is nice candidate for this. I'm using Raging Cry, Mana Leech, and cooldown recovery also. Magma Barrier stayed without any support gems for the whole time, but you can pick any recommended ones that will give you more mana recovery or maybe even vitality for more life recovery. Most importantly, of course, is to get extra sockets for shield wall. And yes, I'm using rapid attacks with concentrated area to attack faster and to deal more damage. Also, I'm using fire attunement and close combat, again for more fire damage and more damage in a close combat. It works very nice and synergizes with all the skills. However, you can change it to any support gems you like. For example, fire attunement can be changed, but in my opinion, it's one of the best support gems for this build. If you don't want to click on any websites, you can see and screenshot passive tree on the screen right now. And I hope you enjoy this video and you will have blast playing it in 0.5. Make sure to check pinned comment, because if there are any changes of the last day before patch, I will write it in a pinned comment and also it will be affected in a guide on Mobalytics. And don't forget to subscribe for more Path of Exile 2 content.